Today's guest is Jon Griffiths, a true visionary in entertainment journalism and LGBTQ plus advocacy. He's the founder of GALECA, the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics. Jon created a dedicated space where queer voices and criticism could flourish and where extraordinary storytelling is celebrated through the annual Dorian Awards. His work has elevated countless LGBTQ plus narratives and talents, drawing mainstream recognition in stories that might otherwise be overlooked. There may be no one more qualified to share their insights on the evolving landscape of entertainment and the importance of authentic representation, and I'm thrilled to have him with me today. So, Jon, how's your season?
Well, thank you, Ryland, so much. What you just said is probably not true. It's flattering, but thank you so much. My season, like everybody else's, has been very up and down. All the different, more than downsizing, the evaporation of work in Hollywood. It's been very discouraging. And the hellish landscape affects, of course, entertainment journalists. And so our season, if you will, has been difficult, as it has been for, I think, most people in Hollywood right now.
True. Yeah. Well, you're actually our first guest who essentially built an award show from scratch. A lot of people might have looked at the awards landscape and thought to themselves, hey, I should do one of these, but you actually did it. And I wanted to talk about how you pulled that off. Can you take us back to the early concept?
Sure. Well, that's where I am kind of an expert in award shows, because I've had to learn about the landscape there and previous awards that kind of fell by the wayside in Hollywood and going back to decades ago. But yeah, in about 15 years ago, I'm pretty sure I was lying in bed and thinking about my job at Us Weekly as TV critic. I was the marquee television critic. And I say that because it's so funny, because I did it for almost 14 years, and my name at the top every week, it said, Television by Jon Griffiths. And at about the 10-year mark, I forget when it was, I was told the marquee thing was going to go away. So I was humbled. Not that I was writing reviews for the New York Times, but I put my heart into it, and it was a dream job. And I thought, oh God, there are a lot of people that do what I do that are gay. And I just realized that I had a few friends that were entertainment journalists, of course, and that were queer. And I thought, our voice is so distinct, not to put too much into it, but LGBTQs through history have been, of course, oppressed, and born of that oppression have felt maybe like a TV and movies have provided an escape from that sort of depression that comes with that, and feelings of persecution. And maybe that has also informed a sort of cultural a queer sort of perspective, a queer eye, if you will, on entertainment, not just, gay porn, but everything. Classic movies, new movies, comedies, stars, in fact, some are gay icons. Why? Or queer icons. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of perspective is unique, I thought, and was something to celebrate and champion. And I thought, why not get a group together and have the gays, quote unquote, give movie and TV awards for everything, not just LGBTQ movies, which at the time, there were a few here and there that would be like, oh, wow, that was good. But most of them were pretty about cute guys crushing out on cute guys and pool scenes and stuff. So, having gone to Outfest for many years. But anyway, so that's where it started. And, friends were game, and then it expanded to people saying, well, what about so-and-so? I don't know them, but they'd be great. So our first Dorian Awards, I decided, why not call it, I was trying to think of a name for our kudos, and I was thinking Oscar Wilde is, of course, an icon, and his history sort of speaks to that oppression that I mentioned, the tragedy of his life. And I thought, how cheeky would it be to call sort of as an homage to the picture of Dorian Gray. If anybody knows that story, it's a sort of a fantasy sci-fi thriller, dark tale about a dandy, I guess, who's rich and very good looking and vain and doesn't want to get older. And I thought, well, that's kind of cheeky too for Hollywood. the land of vanity and stuff, and yet timelessness. So that's what we did. We had a group of about 20 at first, and gave our first awards in 2010 for 2009 TV shows and movies. And our first award, I believe, was the best film was A Single Man. And I think Glee was the best TV show, but then we started to honor quote, straight stuff too. We've had a variety of, like a real mix of titles through the years, of course.
What was that initial response to that first award show, or maybe the first couple?
Pretty good. We got in most of the trades. And I think just, by virtue of explaining to people why, it was sort of important. I remember saying, we're the flip side of GLAAD. They're about representation. We're about the LGBTQ perspective that has been cherished through history, tipping point people, trendsetters, and, that kind of thing. So people thought maybe that, this is something new and different and maybe more special than your average trophy toss.
And so as you look at those first year or two and to where you are today with the Dorians, how has it changed? And is this the Dorian Awards that you initially envisioned?
Yes and no. The awards landscape itself has changed so much. It's gone through ups and downs and is just recently on an upswing. We've got 540 members now from across the country, and some in Canada, the UK, Australia, Mexico, Brazil, the Philippines, etc., mainly in the US, though. And they're from, all sorts of outlets, from the New York Times to LA Times to Slate, Salon, CNN Online, etc., and also the LGBTQ titles like Out, Queerty, The Advocate.
Was GALECA formed around the award show specifically as the voting body for the awards, or was that organization sort of brought together separately?
It was handmaidens. I created both at the same time. Like, this was the major endeavor that we would do, the fun thing, and tried to maintain, or have tried to maintain, and have succeeded, I think, in democratic voting throughout, a scrupulous manner of putting together the awards and doling them out. Integrity. And that has been difficult. Here and there, that there have been a couple of, people that have come out and said, what do I have to do to get one of these awards? Publicists, not actors.
So the Dorian Awards break from a lot of award show traditions. For instance, instead of standard acceptance speeches, awards recipients participate in sort of an Oprah-style interview. Tell us a little bit about those differences.
Well, we've done that off and on. In person, we call it the winner's toast. And there's been some discussion about just calling it a toast, and having nominees there too. But the winner's toasts are, as you said, have somebody interview, maybe a member or a host, interview a winner about their winning project. It's like a sort of an Oprah style chat where it's sort of serious and or touching or fun. And we have bits of comedy. When we had an in-person toast in Hancock Park at a private home or mansion, and Antonio Banderas was there, and Olivia Wilde, and a guy dressed up as a cat, because our campiest film that year, campiest flick winner was Cats.
Sure. So yeah, you mentioned some of the fun categories you do, campiest flick being one of them. You also do best unsung TV show and
film, and yeah. Some people don't like the name of that category. Maybe it should be like Hidden Gem or something like that. But it is to champion films that our members feel did not get the proper attention that they deserved.
How did these new categories come about? Were you just sitting around thinking what would be fun ways to twist the award show a little bit?
Yeah, just to have a little fun, and also what kind of championing the underdog as an LGBTQ organization seems sort of natural, just kind of inherent decisions. And campiest titles, TV shows and movies, that is kind of what I was speaking to before, that sort of unique interest in a way that the gays, quote unquote, are known for. Melodrama, triumphs over tragedy, that kind of stuff.
What are the qualifications or criteria for the unsung film and unsung TV? Does something have to not have been nominated for another award, or do you just kind of go with whatever feels right?
We just clarified that. For years, we had it that the Best Picture nominee could also be LGBTQ picture, best or film, and could also be a nominee in the unsung category. But just to kind of spread the love a bit and to make more sense, now any nominees in the best unsung film category cannot be also in at least the best film category.
So Dorian Awards have also been ahead of the curve in implementing gender neutral categories. We've seen this from some prominent awards like MTV and Independent Spirit Awards that have shifted to these gender neutral categories. Tell us why, first of all, why it was important for you to lead the way on this.
We initially started that way. The idea of best film performance to me initially just seemed like more interesting. Have everybody compete for the same thing, and why divide, by genders. So we did that for a few years, but there was a move within our organization, members who, said, we're gay. What we love actresses. Why don't we honor actresses individually and have, the standard best actor and best actress? So we did. There was a vote, and then it's interesting how things change over time and perspectives change. So by 2017, there was this move within the organization to go gender free, if you will. And we took a vote, a membership vote, and that proposal won. And so that's what we've done. There are still people within our group some women were concerned that women, typically get the short shrift in gender neutral awards. But we did some stats. We looked at the history of our winners and nominees, and that wasn't the case in our group. And it hasn't been since. So, the love's been spread around across genders.
So it's even been reported that the Oscars are exploring the idea of gender neutral categories. Do you see this becoming standard in the awards industry? Do you think the Oscars would ever make that move?
I'm not, honestly, I'm not sure they would, because they are at a point now where they really want to maintain viewership. And, I don't see that happening for a while. I think that a lot of people find the best actress race exciting because of the fashion and stuff. And there are more awards.
So as the landscape of the film and television and media continues to evolve, where do you envision the Dorian Awards going in the future? Are there new initiatives or changes you're implementing that you hope the broader awards landscape will take note of?
Well, we've kind of pivoted, I think for years, dreamed of being on CBS or Bravo or E or something like that. But I'd like to get personally, and I think the members agree, we want to get back to the members and making it more of a journalist organization rather than an awards organization, and really service our members, champion them. The landscape right now with AI and ChatGPT writing stories and downsizing, mergers, rates are lower for freelance entertainment journalists than ever. They're about half of what they used to be 10, 15 years ago. These are not livable wages. So the quality of writing you're going to see is going to go way down. People that don't like critics, like Tom Hanks, and good luck with a ChatGPT review. Entertainment journalism is important. And I'll get off my soapbox quickly, but I will just say that if you don't think entertainment journalism is that important, quality entertainment journalism, or that it has an effect on the quality of movies and TV and the imagery that we see, then you don't know who our president is. The president-elect is, so.
Well, don't get off the soapbox yet. I actually do want to ask a little bit more about GALECA and sort of its role in advocacy as an organization, aside from the awards. So can you talk just a little bit more about the impact that organization has?
Well, we hope to have more and more. We're talking about merging with another journalist association. I don't want to say too much, but it looks like we will probably do that and have more person power to really give our members a boost with different programs, build our inclusive agenda, quote unquote. We did do with Rotten Tomatoes last year a college film critics and film and TV critics a scholarship for underrepresented women and non-binary folk in college. And we're going to do that again, pick it up with another organization soon, this coming year. And with Outfest, which is hopefully rebounding after a bit of some headaches recently, we did do an inclusive press initiative. So we want to do more of that and just remind people of the power of, why it's important to have diversity in newsrooms and in bylines.
In the 15 years that GALECA has been around, how have you seen representation change in journalism and particularly entertainment journalism, and what barriers remain?
I see a lot in media. I go to websites and type in diversity or DEI, and they have lovely pages, with what might be stock photos of people of color and women. But when you look at the staff boxes or, publisher and advertising pages, it's not so much. The idea of having a group of entertainment critics, let's say, and journalists from all walks of life and all, colors and every aspect of the rainbow, the most underrepresented in our communities. And it makes everything richer and more interesting and fun. It's been disheartening to see Hollywood pull back on that, at least at the executive level. And, some people made scapegoats and, there's racism even among liberals in Hollywood, microaggressions and stuff. And so I try to fight against that tide. We're always looking for members in media, in entertainment journalism and critics that are, not white guys, and it's not easy. We search. It's not because they're not there. They are there, but they're just not being given jobs or freelance gigs. So people that might write that are great writers for, say, again, like, maybe whocares.com to some people, will find them and say, hey, we're going to try to find you some freelance gigs, and we would love for you to join the organization, and we can try to nurture them.
There's plenty of reasons to worry about current trends, but anything that you can spotlight perhaps as an encouraging sign and a reason to remain hopeful that the industry evolves and gets better?
Oh, sure. There's always the bottom line, and that will always encourage executives to kind of, make changes, make room for different voices. You just need one hit or maybe five, as it turns out, for people to for it to sink in and go, oh, maybe maybe the Latino market is something we should dig into more and provide content for.
Let's turn back to the Dorian Awards. Anything over the 15-year run that stands out as maybe a particular moment or a favorite memory?
Case in point, Antonio Banderas, what a sweet guy. He won our Best Actor award, a Dorian Award, and I DM'd him or his assistant, I guess on Instagram, and explained the situation. And I said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but you won our Best Actor award, and we're having a very nice affair at a home in Hancock Park. I think it was maybe just the day before. And so if you get this, Antonio, or if you can relay it to him, here's the address. And it was like out of a movie. He lived he might have appreciated that. I don't know, because suddenly I had just interviewed Olivia Wilde in front of the attendees, and I think the cat had just shown up, and suddenly somebody whispers in my ear, John, Antonio Banderas is here. And I was like, oh my God. And he was just very like a guy that hugs and a good sense of humor. He was such a very nice person. So when I get kind of down about, how people can be, because it is a business, I have to smack myself every now and then and get real. That was just a nice reminder that there are really great people in the industry. They're creative souls, and a lot of them care, obviously.
How's planning going for this year's awards?
Well, we're not doing an actual awards ceremony. I know. We've just decided that, like I said, it's really going to be more about the members. That's our pivot. And if any analogy might work, we used to say that we are the gayer Golden Globes because we honor film and TV. But now we're the gay bodies, instead of the Peabodies. Something that's a little bit, not stuffy or refined, obviously, but just more about the actual work. And if people love to be honored by us, they know it's with a big heart and from a very edified professional entertainment journalist group that's very well vetted, like a lot of underrepresented organizations. There's the African American Film Critics Association, the Latino Entertainment Journalists Association, the Asian American Journalists Association. They have a features forum, which is features and entertainment writers. My dream is to join forces with all these groups. We're not the only organization that faces these sort of uphill battles or issues for recognition and stuff. So as an alliance, we thought we'd be stronger and have more clout in a way. And more energy, more inspiration for all of us. And I hope to, that we'll all be together and maybe have like a group award or something. We'll see.
Yeah, I know the industry and society at large has really a ton of room to grow, and I appreciate you discussing your perspective. But for a little bit of levity, we like to end each interview with a fun lightning round of questions.
Oh, sure.
All right. What is your favorite film festival to attend?
Oh, God. I would have to say Outfest. I'm not a big film fest person, honestly. Is that terrible? Because I don't love crowds and I don't love small talk. Yeah.
What is your favorite award show to watch?
It's the Oscars for sure. My favorite moment is the moment that I'm shocked when the producers don't play it up more is what is the anticipatory and the nominees are. Let's really hold on that face for a while. Let's see them sweat. Let's see them and after, I'm sorry, but it is a race. It is a race.
Do you prefer Emmy season or Oscar season?
I think Emmy season is a little bit more fun because it's not as serious. I think the film world takes itself very seriously, and yeah, it's a little stuffy.
Do you have a least favorite awards speech cliche?
Thank God. Thank you, God. I mean, it's nice, I have a faith, but I don't know. I don't think that God is really doling out Oscars.
Would you be more likely to cry or swear during an acceptance speech?
I would say something so dumb and flippant and regret it soon after because I would be very nervous. And I also have sort of a weird sense of humor. So whatever I said would get eye rolls left and right. Yeah. And don't ask me to host.
What is your favorite past appetizer at a screening reception?
Oh, let's see. Well, something that's hefty. I'm not a big fan of appetizers. I like a buffet.
All right. Final question. What is one unreasonably early award season prediction that you're willing to make?
Saoirse Ronan. I haven't seen the Outrun, but I'm in recovery 21 years now. And it's just heartening to know that I keep hearing people that say she's amazing. And I think from what I hear from a lot of friends that she is, likely to at least receive a nomination.
Jon Griffiths, thank you so much for joining us on this season.
Thanks, Ryland. I really appreciate it.